This shiur on Parashat Devarim is dedicated לעילוי נשמת חיים בן ויקטוריה. תהיה נשמתו צורה בצור החיים, ולהבדיל מההצלחה of his grandson Idan Yosef, that should be מצליח במעלות התורה והיראה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישלח לו של זיווג הגון, וכל אשר יפנה יעשה ויצליח. בבקשה. Parashat Devarim. Parashat Devarim opens the last, is the opening of the last Chumash, as we know, and also known, of course, as Mishnah Torah, because in a way it is a repetition of everything that happened to Am Yisrael, and these are the last words of Moshe Rabbeinu to Am Yisrael, sitting there basically and handing those things over, that were said from Rosh Chodesh Shvat until Zayin Be'adar. So basically, he was giving it to them, which is the day that Moshe Rabbeinu passed away. So if we look at the time frame that we are in now, it's called Yemei Ben HaMetzarim. These are days that are very Meitzar Mishum narrow, makes things, cringe you. It's like makes you very tight and uncomfortable. And we are right before the fast of Tisha B'Av. It's going to happen. Well, hopefully it won't happen, but it's supposed to happen on Sunday. And Parashat Devarim come to teach us maybe a secret that would help us deal with pain, with agony, with mourning. And that's why we read it like this now. So we're going to look a little bit take a little Kabbalistic look at things. And that's going to be, I guess, the last shiur for a while before, because I'm Be'ezrat Hashem going to Israel for my father's yahrzeit. So, So as we had in last week's parasha, Parashat Masa'ei, so is this parasha. Surprisingly enough, the Zohar there's no Pirush Zohar on this parasha. And it means that we are in Hester, in hiding. Something is hiding from us, or we don't see things right. Because of that, it's like this. And and of course, you can see, these are Yemei Ben HaMetzarim, which is the days of Din. And it's always hot here during this time, and always associated with Din. And of course, we know the greater the hiding, greater the cover, the greater the light that is hiding underneath this cover. In other words, the light that is hiding in the essence of these days. I mean, we all know that Mashiach is supposed to be born in this day, Tisha B'Av. So, and that would signify to us the great light will come. So that light is present in those days. It's just covered tremendously in such a way that, in a way, we lose track of what's going on and put us in a quite challenging time. Now, I'm going to tell you something that might be surprising to you, but the sages of Kabbalah, our rabbis, understood a long, long time ago that our perception of reality was not good for us, or was quite wrong for about 2,000 years in terms of persecutions, danger, and in awareness of something that was going up over and over and over, and the pattern was over and over again, endlessly. They understood something. They understood, and it seems that something is probably wrong in the way we look at reality. And it's something in the way we look at reality is wrong is completely different than the way reality actually perceives us. We perceive reality in a totally different way than reality perceives us. And that is by itself, I mean, I could, where are my glasses? I could technically say, all right, that's it for today, leave you in the Zen moment and then leave you thinking about this. And I really mean that. There's a lot to think about just by that statement. And maybe not for nothing, it's coming right now in this time, right before Chodesh Elul, right before the Yom Adin HaGadol, which is Rosh Hashanah. We need to realize that we look at things wrong. Completely. What's important is not important. What is dear is not. Our view of the world is quite upside down. As they say, Olam hafuch ani roeh. I see, when he went to Shammai, I see an upside down world. So, as much as there's the principle of uncertainty in common physics and modern physics that says that at the moment that we measured reality, we created a change in that reality, so is Kabbalah teaches us to see in every story, in any aspect, things that we didn't see beforehand. That's why it's amazing to me when people say to me, well, Rabbi, I already did this Masechta. I was talking yesterday to a rabbi here, and I said to him that it's amazing. Our Torah is so amazing. In terms of, you could learn something 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And there are Masechtot that I learned, believe me, so many times. And yet, it didn't happen that I learned a Masechta or learned the Halacha and didn't understand things that I didn't understand beforehand. It's not that I forgot them. I'm just like, wow, how did I miss this? So to tell me that you are bored from learning Torah, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what you're learning, but Torah is not what you're learning. It's just impossible. So, and everything, of course, it's depending on the story that we tell ourselves. And Baruch Hashem, nowadays we are tremendous storytellers. We tell us stories that we believe that that's the reality, to the point that we are becoming blind to everything. So comes Moshe Rabbeinu, and I really believe me, I have another, basically 3 pages at home that I want to give you about the Tochacha, of how to give Tochacha, about the Rashba and different Rishonim but I said I want to talk to you about this maybe before I go. So comes Moshe Rabbeinu, and he tells Am Yisrael the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, and he tells them what happened over there 40 years. And why does he need to tell them the story? What? They don't know the story. They weren't there. But Moshe is telling us how to tell the story. And how to tell the story is something that we need to learn to tell ourselves, how to tell the story of our lives also appropriately. Many people, and you'll see it, they have what is so-called revisionist history. They revise history as they go. They just, how things happen, and it's like, you're just amazed. It says, 1 second, how is this? But this didn't happen. So the parasha starts in the words, Elu ha-devarim asher diber Moshe el kol Yisrael. He spoke to all the Jewish people. Where? Be'ever ha-yarden b'midbar ba'arava. It tells you a specific place, on the eastern side of the Jordan, b'midbar, in the desert, ba'arava, in the flatlands or in the prairies, mul Yam Suf, across from Yam Suf, ben Faran u ben Tofel, ולבן וחצרות ודי זהב. Maybe di zahav is modern day dahab. It's called di zahav. And where is that? 11 יום מחורב דרך הר שעיר עד קדש ברנע. Really, I mean, what do I need to know? What do I care that it's 11 days walking from Har Sinai? Mein Yampo. So the Ari explains that when the world was created, we and everything else was created in perfection. Everything was perfect. What is so-called B'Tselem Elokim. As Hashem is, and so on and so forth, and together, like imitating HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we also wanted to create and to say, Vayehi Or, and there will be light. That's why it was needed to create a place for us, a place of darkness. If you want to be partners with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to say, Yehi Or, let there be light, you need to first of all create darkness to bring that light. Since that's what we wanted, therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to create the place of darkness for us as well, that from it we'll be able to bring about the light. And the process that created, call it created, that darkness, that challenge, that a possibility to fail, the gambling on victory and so on and so forth, is basically the story in which is said in this week's parasha. 11 יום מחורב דרך הר שעיר עד קדש ברנע, 11 days from Chorev, which is Mount Sinai, and not the hospital, through Har Seir until Kadesh Barnea. These are the 11 vessels that was spread, that was broken, and that was spread. And those sparks, the holy sparks of those holy vessels, we are looking throughout our lives. And this is the job that each and every one of us has. Kol Israel yesh lahem chelek leolam haba. Here it takes a totally different meaning. Every Jew has a share of broken vessels that he needs to gather. That will bring us to Olam Haba. Putting all those vessels together will bring us to Olam Haba. Will bring us to the place where we should be. Of course, if you throw him behind, somebody else needs to pick it up. Today there's a lot of work to do. A lot of people just threw it behind their backs. But these are the vessels that each and every one of us has to do, has to pick up, has to assort. The berur, the assortment has to be done, and every time we need to be able to differentiate between holy and not holy, between darkness, between light, and so on and so forth. Just as we say in Havdalah, there are certain things that are beyond our ability to fix, beyond our ability to repair, beyond our ability to draw the holy spark and separate it. Imagine you have, you're taking iron ore, and in order to really bring the iron up to create something with it, you need to put a tremendous furnace. We don't possess that furnace on certain aspects to be able to separate between the good and bad and to take away the, let's say, the gold out of the impurities. These are the certain foods that we're not allowed to eat. That you can eat, by the way. That's not a problem. That's why we make a bracha on that, right? Now, all of a sudden, you understand when we say, of course, "En bracha shora ela bedavar samui min ha'ayin." The bracha, the holy spark, is hidden, is dwelling only on something that you cannot see with the eyes. That's why you make a bracha on something, so you can take the spark out, and that's what happens to us in our life. Basically, our whole job to come here is recycling and making good out of bad. By doing those things, in a way, by living your life as you being prescribed by the Torah and by Chachamim, all of a sudden takes a totally different meaning. You are an active partner with God in creation. Now, what's so difficult to be a frum Jew? What's so difficult to keep mitzvot? I don't know. Bring it on. I want it. Who doesn't want to do that? Now you understand why is it that when the Jew wants to be like the rest of the nations, he's creating a mess. He's preventing the light from coming out to this world. So that's what happens. That's what the Ari says. So we are in when we say over there, Derech Har Seir, right? So these are the passages in which we have to go, exactly as those masaot, as the journeys that Am Yisrael had to go, as the Torah told us last week's Parashat Masai. We are, again, as I said to you, in a constant journey in looking for those lost sparks. One of the reasons, the Gemara says, one of the reasons that the Jews went to exile, unlike common believers, we did that for your sins. Leave this for other people. One of the reasons the Gemara says we went on our journey, you read the Tosfot over there in Yevamot. The Gemara says, when the Gemara talks about converts, about Gerei Tzedek, they said the Jews went because those Gerei Tzedek are holy sparks that were hidden among the nations, and the job of the Jews is to go there and make themselves accessible, so like a magnet you will pull him out and make this person, allow him and show him the light to become a convert. You don't pursue it, you're just a magnet. How do you do it? Well, you do the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's very important to make sure you act right and to make sure that you look like a Jew. Where you keep all the time, where your tzitzis all the time. And I told you, if somebody doesn't like it, go learn martial arts. I'm a big advocate of learning martial arts. Lama lo. You saw what happened in the city the other day, yesterday with this guy, the Filipino guy. He was coming in, everybody was punching, the guy was punching people. Well, this Filipino guy, good for him, knew Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, got him on the floor, put him in submission. The other guy held him up, they called the police, they got him. Terrific. But we need to act in a certain way, we need to do certain things the right way, so we can bring about that spark. So we become, in a way, a vehicle to spreading God's name in the world. How? By doing what we need to do and doing it right. So, and those looking for the sparks, for example, what's the AC on? It's like pretty hot here. Looking for those sparks is, for example, looking for your spouse. Your spouse is your biggest part that you're missing. Everything that you have, everything that you possess in your possession has a spark in which you and only you can fix. If, for example, Eitan is wearing right now a nice look, actually I like the shirt. Eitan is wearing, look, a nice specimen over here, wearing a nice shirt. I really like it, nice shirt. Look kind of Texasy, right? By him wearing this shirt now, doing mitzvot and so on and so forth, he's fixing up the spark that is in that shirt. So what happens here is like that. If I desire a shirt, and I finagle him to give me the shirt, I did gezel, I chomed, a shirt, basically, I stole from him. And why? Because I don't believe that there is such thing as a spark. I don't believe that God gave him that spark. Therefore, Bal Tachmod corresponds Keneged Ani Hashem Elokecha. Because I would not be able to fix what needs to be fixed with wearing, for example, his shirt, the way he would do it. That's why the Torah, when it says Bal Tachmod, Lo Tachmod, what? First of all, Eshet Re'echa. The biggest spark is Eshet Re'echa. And then this and this and this, V'kol Asher Le'echa, and everything else. Don't desire this because it's not yours. So when you look at things this way, there's no way to complain, there's no need to complain, there's no reason to complain. Why I have this and he has that? Well, he has that because God gave it to him. And I have this because God gave it to me, and what I have here is the ultimate tool. What I would allow me to do the proper tikkun. I mean, how many times it happens to you? You go, I don't know. Well, today we don't go to department stores or something like this. Let's say you want to buy a white shirt. Well, you see there are shelves like, your size. I don't know, 10, 20, 15, whatever, 30 shirts, all your size. And you go with somebody and say, oh, take this one. No, I want this one in the middle. Why the fuck this one in the middle? No, take this one. No, I want this one. Why? Because your neshama knows, the spiritual magnet knows that is yours. That's, now when you say, Soneh matanot tichya, you understand, I'm gonna be carrying with me so many things that it's not my spark. I didn't choose it. So I'm gonna schlep it with me. It's gonna drain me out of energy, out of spirituality, spiritual energy. I don't want it. I want the chayut. What I have, Baruch Hashem, thank you very much. I have that, and that's what I don't need more. The world outside tries to prevent you from doing that. That you choose whatever you want. Learn to desire. By me learning to desire, I'm becoming not focused on what needs to be done. And since I'm not focused on what needs to be done, I'm not going to be able to do the job. And that's exactly the tachbula, the trick of the Yetzer Hara they're trying to do. Those powers, the spiritual dark powers that try to prevent us from bringing the light, are trying to make you do that. And I've told you this many times. Look at what you have and say, thank God, I'm rich. Baruch Hashem, I have. Not to say, you know what, I want this phone, I want that phone. Look at your grandparents. They didn't have a phone. Do you imagine life? I mean, not so far away. Like it's in the 90s, without a cell phone. It's crazy. How blessed we are. What do we do with a phone? That's already something else. But everything that it's given to us, because now, and why there's such a spread on technology and everything is so accessible and knowledge. I mean, today you want to take a course at MIT, you can do it online for free. There's a website, I love this website. My son sent it to me years ago. You can take free courses in top universities, Harvard, Oxford, Yale, you name it, for free. Why is that? Because we are coming, there's no time. Time is getting shorter. And don't think that I'm joking. Because I don't know if you know that, if you read it, they say it's because climate change. But we know that climate is in the hands of Hashem. But because of all the climate change, because of all the earthquakes and tsunamis and so on and so forth, the earth is actually spinning faster. And since the earth is spinning faster, the days are getting shorter. There was a scientific thing recently. So what I'm telling you, we don't have time. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to give us as many tools as He can that will be in our disposal so we can do the job, because some people are sleeping. And you need to understand that. Here you take science, and I'm telling you, that's a fact. When He said to you, there's no time, there's no time. You can tell me it's because the glaciers are melting. I'm telling you, God's hand is in everything. You tell me it's glaciers melting. I'm telling you, yes, the glaciers are melting, but you know why? Oh, man did it. No, man did not do it. God wants it to happen like this. You telling me the glaciers are doing it, the air does it, because you don't want me to concentrate on what needs to be done. And you see, the more we listen to those medias and so on and so forth, the more darkness there is in this world. No light. I know the world's supposed to be better. We're not better. We're getting worse. So somebody needs to pick up the pace. Somebody needs to pick up the slack, and that will be us. So And in order for this search, and it's everything like this, it's everything like this. I'll be honest with you, I was looking to move recently. Like I had enough. I want to move. And I can't find a place that speaks to me. As they say in Yiddish, no me canta. Doesn't talk to me. It means that all these places that I'm looking at, my spark is not there. You're looking for a community. Unless you go and say, oh, that's it. The spark is not there. And if you are in a place that, the spark is there, why are you looking somewhere else? Why are you looking for trouble? Stay where you are. And I told you this many times. We need to look at value of things in the eyes of the Torah. Is there a community that do chesed? Yes. Is there Torah? Yes. Are there shuls? Yes. Are people that are nice to one another? Well, most of the time, yes. All right, that's the place for me to stay. The non-Jewish way to look at things is, okay, there's a big house. I can get a bigger house than the other guy. I have a bigger, go to the Hamptons. The Hamptons, the attitude of the Hamptons is not a Jewish attitude. It's attitude for fools. I knew somebody who rented a house for, I don't know, whatever, for the Hamptons. He said, believe me, he's a very, very, very wealthy guy.
30,000.
Very wealthy guy. But he said, listen, I used to drive a Hyundai Fit. He said, just for living in the Hamptons, I had to get myself a Maserati. And still people look at me like this. I said, you're a fool. You're a fool. Yeah, seriously. He bought a Maserati.
What the Hamptons look like?
It's like driving a horse and buggy. All right? So, you need to look at your community and then everything like this, career and everything. In order for this search to be successful, we need to go from chorev mishum leachriv, right? We need to basically destroy the whole entire world in order there's going to be enough darkness, like break all the rules in order to be enough darkness so we could find what we lost beneath the rubble, so we could feel that we actually were a part in what we call the creation of the shlemut, of the wholeness. We need to bring the world back in a state of harmony and wholeness. So we need to do that. And the process started right away. We were there. The Torah was giving to us, that's the light. And the darkness was the Egel right after that. From the Egel, everything went south. I mean, we were going north, but everything went south. The darkness, that's the beginning, is the Egel. And why did we do that? Because we were impatient. Impatient. We couldn't wait. We failed.
Like today.
So what do you do today? You wait. Learn to have patience. Because what did what is his name, Rabbi Rosenberg said? All you need is just a little patience. Yeah. You know this Rabbi, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Rabbi Rosenberg. Yeah. So then after we created, then we said Derech Har Seir. Derech Har Seir. Seir in the Kabbalah are the negative forces. It usually represents, the demons and the Seirim and all the negative, basically idol worshipping. So from Chorev, from the place there, we had to go to Har Seir. And these are all the negative forces that accompany us and challenging us all along that search that we have. And these are the forces of disparity, of laziness, the forces of procrastinations, forces of lack of emunah, lack of emunat chachamim, shop for psak. You can't take what the rabbi tell you. You're going to go to the highest bidder, and whoever gives you what you want to hear, you give him a nice check. Well, that's disgusting. But these are the forces of the negative forces. Forces of confusion. Yes, I know confusion might be your epitaph. You guys don't know what I'm talking about, right? Nobody ever heard of King Crimson? No, huh? Yeah, there's a song. I listened to it after Tisha B'Av. Confusion will be your epitaph. That's exactly it. You know, what do you want to write on your tombstone? You know, you were confused all your life. That's what we are. I've been dazed and confused for so long. It's not true. Forgetfulness, numbness. We are very comfortably numb. It's good for us to be, and look at this, honestly, I mean, this is not a joke. We are comfortably numb. Everybody in New York, I mean, I might think that I'm some kind of in a field of ganja in Jamaica. Everybody smokes pot and it stinks. I hate that smell. Everybody wants to be stoned. Why? That's being stoned, Rabotai, and don't believe those fools who are saying, well, the prophets were stoned. I don't know what you're talking about. You cannot be holy nor a prophet, not only if you're stoned, if you had a drink of wine of 3 ounces. So whoever tells you that is an idiot. Simple as that. You want to be holy? Be clear. You want to do the holy thing? Well, you got to be clear. Don't get drunk. Don't get stoned. Be clear. It's the best feeling out there. I know what's going on. Everybody's like, rolling in their own vomit, And you know what I don't understand? Honestly, I just, as a side note. It says on cigarettes, Senator General Surgeon, maybe it should be a sergeant surgeon, but, he's not general by all means. Cigarettes are bad for you, and blah, 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 blah. And smoking pot is okay. I mean, when you take all the smoke inside of you, that's okay.
Don't inhale.
You don't inhale. I forgot you don't inhale.
No filter.
I mean, and no filter. You know what it does to you? Needless to say, what it does to you. I honestly, and I'm not playing stupid or, I just don't understand these people. I really don't. But along the line, again, and why is it? You see, as we are getting closer towards the deadline, as much as we have the potential to do a lot of great things, the negative forces throwing everything there is at you. Uncontrolled sex, confusion, like you don't know, ask, somebody said, the other day, they asked a college professor, for what was it, for sexuality and something like this. Woman status. Can you define to me what a woman is? That moron could not tell what a woman is. What are you doing teaching in college? Go sell cucumbers in the market. It will be better. I mean, at least it's a cucumber. You're teaching me about women. You can't define what a woman is. Thank you very much. Wake up and smell the hummus.
You got the right job, being a professor.
Yeah. Now, so these are those forces of negativity and so on, and also of being like dull in terms of your emotions. We don't care about people's pain. We don't care about people's suffering. We just care about agendas. Well, okay, go like this. Yeah. People suffer. And when a person is suffering, without any discrimination of who the person is, right? Jew, Gentile, white, black, purple, green, red, whatever, who cares? Even if he's your enemy, help him. Because if you continue his suffering, he's going to continue to be your enemy. I don't know if it's true. But somebody said the story, once upon a time there was a king. No, I'm not going to tell you the story. Once upon a time there was a king. About a guy who, went to one of those food chains. Of course, it sounds too good to be true, but nevertheless, you get the idea. He ordered food, to pick up from the drive-in. So, he was taking his time and was paying like this. All of a sudden, the guy behind him, beep, 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 beep. So, and at the end, the guy behind him got very tired, and he bumped him with a car like this. So the guy said to the cashier, I want to pay for him also. She says to me, why? Just beeped at you, yelled at you, cursed you, banged into your car. He probably had a very rough day. He's very, very tired. I want to pay him. I want to make his day feel better. She says, but he ordered a big order. She says, it's okay, I'll pay for it. Here, take, what is it, $20? She says, no, it was like from 50, 60. I'll pay for it. He pays for it, and he drives. The other guy comes, and he gets his order, gets the thing. He's about to pay. She says, no, the other guy paid for it already. He said, what? What do you mean he paid for me? He said, pay for me. Why would he pay for me? He says, he's probably in such a big rush. You had a rough day. You want to make your life easy. He said, what? You know what? Let me pay for the guy behind me. And so on and so forth. Everybody in the line got paid. I mean, but that's the way it is. What?
It's nice.
But that's the way it is. There was a video like this that was circling a long time ago with this construction worker who give this homeless guy something, and it's just, but it is, call it the butterfly effect. Call it whatever you want. You can call it Al. I don't like that song so much. But, you know who sings that?
Al?
Paul Simon. But that's what it is. You can't expect other people to be good and the world to be good if you yourself acting like an animal. Then it's welcome to the jungle. And you know what's the rule in the jungle?
There's no rule.
Everybody eats everybody. That's the way it is. So, and this is going to be the journey again. Let me tell you the story again, the journey again, right? 11 יום מחורב דרך הר שעיר. Right, so Chorev was the Torah where we started the darkness through Seir. We have to go to this place that's called Seir until we're going to get to Kadesh. Until we're going to get to a place of Kedusha and hope where it's going to be joy of life. There's no joy in life. People are not happy to live. And that is the power of the story of Parashat Devarim. From Chorev to Kadesh, and then and the end is in Barnea. What's Barnea? Why is called? Why not Kadesh? It's called Kadesh Barnea. Kadesh Barnea. The Am Yisrael will be at the time becheskat Barna. In other words, they were going to go on a journey through exile, Naim v'Naim, Kol Azman, all the time until the end of this berur, and the end of this selection that needs to separate until we retrieve all those holy sparks that got embedded within those vessels. And the quicker we will hasten ourselves to do it, the faster it will happen, the better we will be. And this parasha, as we said before, it really touches us a moment before Tisha B'Av. And in Tisha B'Av, Bet HaMikdash was destroyed twice. And the last time was because of sinat chinam, because of hatred. And we are called the Dora Geula, the generation of redemption, but we are also the Dora Churban. We are also the generation of destruction. Now it's up to you, right? Yes or no? Churban or Binyan? It's up to us what we're going to decide to be. 2,000 years have passed, and we still suffer the consequences of this hatred. I'm going to tell you something. I think, and I might dare to say that every hatred is sinat chinam, is a false hatred, and in vain, hating in vain. There's no reason to hate. We should guide. We should, I didn't say forgive, I didn't say forget, but we should not hate. Hate, you're gonna, as I told you this many times, there's no mitzvah in the Torah to hate. Not even Amalek. You need to remember what Amalek did to you. It doesn't mean mitzvah to hate. Why? Today you hate your enemy, tomorrow you hate your brother. Hate is not something that we should possess in our lives. And that churban was so destructive and so bad that we reached this situation, and some of us don't even realize what we had lost. How great was the thing that we lost, being sovereign in our country, living the life of Torah, in having the Beit HaMikdash. We don't realize, to the point that we have some idiot Israelis that want to give it up. What are you, out of your minds? So, not for nothing, this parasha, again, comes to us dafka this time to teach us also what to think, to direct the projector of awareness to the places that needs to be dealt with, to the places that needs healing. And the tochacha that comes to cause us to do a personal cheshbon nefesh, a personal inventory, very personal, and also a general inventory, what we do as individuals and what we do as a nation, as a community, and so on and so forth, to really awaken within us the power of loving people and loving life, the appreciation to a Jew and what the Torah is. Enough saying those learn Torah are parasites. It's enough to be able to see and to find the good in any Jew, even if he's a Mechalel Shabbat. I don't care what he thinks about me. I need to care about what I think about him. I don't know what I would have done if I was a secular Jew. I don't know what I would do. So I cannot judge him. Because I was not faced with that reality, I would probably done worse thing than him. So therefore I cannot judge him. To be able to judge kol adam lekav zchut, to help people, to make yourself accessible to people. Don't reject, don't judge. There is a judge, and that is God. This is not a job we can't do our job. I want to do God's job. That's what we need to understand, that to remind us the true meaning of sitting and living in Eretz Israel. Rabotai, America is a wonderful place. Gorgeous views, gorgeous sceneries, and it's a overlanding paradise. In Israel, you're going to go overlanding. One day you do it from one side to the other side. From Metula to Eilat, you can do in one day. That's it. Goodbye. Shalom. You're done. The first chance you have, and I'm telling you from experience, the first chance you have to move to Israel, move. Move. Don't think about, the millions that you're going to make here. There were richer people than you in Europe before World War II. They all ended up in the chimneys. The love of Eretz Israel. I can't believe there are people who went all over the world. For crying out loud, people go to Dubai, and yet they haven't gone to Israel. Like, what? You've gone to the Maldives. You go to Turks and Caicos. Maybe you look like a gecko, but why haven't you gone to Israel, boy? Oh, I'm going to Amsterdam. I'm going to, where people go nowadays, all this, Cancun. Maldives. Right? Go to Fiji, I have Fiji at home. I have water from Fiji. I get from Amazon. It's a miracle. I get Fiji water through the Amazon. All served to me without sending food out. But to Israel you've been. Excuse me, have you gone anywhere in Israel? When you go to Israel, guys, with all due respect, just walk the land. Don't just sit in your hotel or go to the beach in Tel Aviv looking at the beautiful creatures that God had created. Walk the land. Take your shoes off. Let your feet feel the dirt of the land. Soil. Put your hands in the soil of the land. Pick it up. Smell it. You're not going to forget that. Rub it in your hands so you know how it feels. You're never going to forget that. That's your home. That's where you need to go back to. We need to remember to love Am Israel without a doubt, but also we need to love Eretz Israel. You want to buy, Rabbi, I have a couple of houses to buy. I want to buy. Where are you going to buy? I want to buy in, I don't know where.
Dubai.
Not Dubai. Yeah. Good luck over there. If you have money to buy in Dubai, listen, I want to check for the yeshiva, please. But, I don't know, the Nevada, I don't know, whatever people buy. Excuse me, you buy yourself an apartment in Israel. Bahom, I want to be buried there. Who said why? I mean, you don't want to live there, you want to be buried there. So remember that. And we have to understand there's a lot to fix in Israel, in the state of Israel. There's a lot to fix. But it's tremendous zchut that we have to live in a time where a Jew wants to go to Israel and pick up his stuff and go. It wasn't so long ago that you couldn't go. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Even in our time, you couldn't go to Israel. When we had COVID, remember, all of a sudden you couldn't fly to Israel. I was like, what? So it's a zchut to go, to breathe the air of the land, to eat from the fruits of the land, to plant, if you have a garden, to plant something there so it would grow. You are taking a part of Yeshuva Haaretz. So before you're going to buy a summer vacation in Boca, you can bet yourself something in Baka, in Yerushalayim, Boca, Baka, same thing, Actually, should I say Shchunat Geulim? So this Tochecha of Moshe Rabbeinu is a call for awakening. We need to awaken, and we need to reassess ourselves and redefine ourselves as a special nation in a special country, special land, with a defined purpose. You gotta have a purpose. A nation that needs, each and every Jew needs a lot of love. A whole lot of love. And a whole lot of rosy. And Parashat Devarim teaches us the way in which we tell ourselves the story, and this is how your destiny, your mazal will happen. The way you tell yourself how things happen, that's how things will happen. And it's always better that we tell ourselves the story from a positive point of view. So in other words, Rabotai, don't complain so much. I don't tell you don't complain at all. It'll be hard. But complain less. Be more positive. Things don't work your way, say, Kol akeva letova. This is also good. Find good in everything that happens. Or as Rabbi Nachum Gamzu says, Gamzu letova. This is also good, right? And if we had enough in the way in which our life is going and the way we conduct ourselves, comes Parashat Devarim and give us this week the wisdom, the ability to tell a different story. So Yeh Ratzon that we're going to make it into a good story. And I really hope that, listen, we still have time. It's not too late. Right now it's Thursday night, which is Friday. And I'll finish with what the Lubavitcher Rebbe said. They asked him one time, he says, Rebbe, it says in the Gemara that Mashiach does not come in Arvei Pesachim, right? And Arvei Shabbatot. And why? Erev Pesach. And why? Not to bother, not to cause tircha for the people. They have to schlep themselves to Israel. But what will happen if he comes? So the Rebbe said, let him come. And after he comes, he says, tell me, by the way, why did you come now? But let him first of all come. So, Rabotai, we can still make it. We could still make it. It could still be that we hear the great shofar on Motzei Shabbat, and we won't have to fast, and we will have to pack. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to tell me it's impossible, I'll tell you, yes, it is possible. And it's up to each and every one of us, starting from now. Shabbat Shalom.